Right, so we're going to get started. This is another Thirsty for Knowledge Thursdays. And tonight's topic, even though it says speculative investing, really this is going to be all about Bitcoin, right? So this is cryptocurrency. And the following disclosure happens for this one because this one is about investments, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin specifically. We are not making any sway one way or the other, right? We're not for, we're not against. We're just trying to give you information here on cryptocurrencies and some alternative investments. Just know you should do your own follow up and your own disclosure and go through, because I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can invest and some of the different ways that you might want to do a little research on them before choosing a path to go down. Mm-hmm. Boy, that was a lot of talking for me. So I'm certainly glad there are drinks on this flight. So we do call this Thirsty for Knowledge Thursdays. Craig and I affectionately refer to it as Think with a Drink. Our goal is to deliver education and information in a relaxed and casual setting. We can't think of any better way to do that than if we have a cold beverage on hand. So sit back, sip, and enjoy the ride. Myself, personally, this evening, I am drinking, this is Blizzard of 78 from local Wormtown Brewery in Worcester. It is an English-style brown ale with a little hint of coffee added into it by Acoustic Java. Craig, what are you drinking?
Well, in honor of the cold rain and potential snow that you've got the Blizzard of 78 for, I'm actually drinking a hot chocolate tonight. From my
hot chocolate. I didn't bring out the Blizzard of 78 and brought the snow with us. I did not do that, but stole that some people are actually getting snow today. Okay, so here's our agenda. Investment versus speculation. Really, and in its most basic terms, all investment comes with some inherent type of risk, right? And the trap that most investors or most people fall into is that it's always looking at return. What am I going to get for a return? Or what did that earn? Or what am I going to make on this? And for Craig and I, the conversation is always about what's the risk? How much risk am I willing to take to get that return? And really, that's the conversation, not only for cryptocurrency, but for every investor. The reason we bring this up is because cryptocurrency, just by the likelihood of nature of what it is as an investment, is speculative because you don't really have a lot of history, right? And we have no idea what's going to happen in the future with returns or regulations or anything, because we don't have that time horizon really to go back and look at it. So by the nature of it, just as the investment itself, cryptocurrency falls into the speculation bucket.
Yeah, but isn't the speculative?
The idea with this is that, so Bitcoin was developed in 2009. I'm not going to go too deep into the story of Bitcoin, but just so you have the background to this. Bitcoin was developed in 2009 with the idea that ultimately at the end of the time frame, right, that there would be a total of 21 million coins that would be mined or issued. So there's a finite number of Bitcoins in the universe. Because of that, it sort of gives Bitcoin this like hard asset feel to it. It's like gold. There's a limited number supply. There's only so many of these things in the universe, and then there's no more. And the way that works is Bitcoin is mined. It's mined not in the traditional manner you think of with a pickaxe. It's done through technology, but they add blocks to the ledger, which becomes the blockchain. That's when you've heard blockchain. That's what that's about. It's the blocks to the ledger for the number of coins that have been mined. Now, every 4 years, that number halves on how many coins are actually mined in a block. 2020 was the last time that was done. There were approximately, at that time, 18,375,000 of the 21 million coins had been mined, about 87%. Now, the way this goes forward with the halving, the next one occurring in 2024, all the way out to 2036, is somewhere around where you're going to get the last of the coin, right? And the people who are mining, right, they're known as miners, these participants who do it, they're sort of twofold. Not only are they mining the coins, but they're keeping basically the system afloat, right? You need power and technology to keep the blockchain going.
Mhm.
So they're participating as part of that by keeping the blockchain alive. So, how can you invest in cryptos? Well, so the first thing, and Craig and I might be savants, I guess, because we happen to schedule this right on the heels of the Coinbase IPO. So Coinbase is an exchange. So like Craig asked, hey, it's not on the SEC, it's not in the New York Stock Exchange. How do I go to purchase uh, Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency for that? Well, you go to an exchange. That's the easiest way to do this. All right, so now this comes down to owning cryptocurrency. So this is sort of to Craig's question, right? What do you do? Right, now I've got it. What do I do? Right? So essentially, if you buy Bitcoin, Bitcoin is going to give you what is known as a private key. That private key is it's a long series of numbers and letters that ultimately you can go in and unlock your coins. That's what the private key does. That's how you interact with the blockchain itself through this private key. And so ultimately, for anybody who's buying or owning Bitcoin, you need someplace to put that key. That's what the wallet is for, right? The wallet is there so I can house my private key. And there's all different types of different ways of buying Bitcoin. So first off, we talked about the exchanges, right? So that's the main way. So Coinbase was the one we talked about. One of the more popular that's probably known because you buy more alternative investments there type of thing. eToro, that's Toro, eToro. Abra, ABRA. Coinbase, we already talked about. BitBuy, but that's only for those in Canada to get on the BitBuy. And then Kraken is one, it's a lesser known, but another one of those exchanges where you can just go and buy coins. And the reason we bring this up is all of these do the same thing, just like other exchanges do. They charge you a fee for purchasing your Bitcoin. So you want to check out who's charging for what and how much it's going to cost you. And if I'm leaving it there, how does that mean? Am I getting charged for that? So you want to do a little research on this before you jump in and say, oh, I'm just going to go to Coinbase and open an account. Maybe he tires them and tweaks them to try to deal with, but you can do arbitrage. Now, arbitrage just means I'm buying something over here and selling it at another place over there and making money on that sale. That's essentially how arbitrage works. I'm buying something cheap and then I'm selling it someplace else for more money and I'm making on it. So you would think that Bitcoin really wouldn't fit there, right? Because every Bitcoin should be the same. But some of these exchanges have different prices on Bitcoin. So there is the possibility that you could literally buy Bitcoin in one location and sell it in another and make money. Now, where you're going to make the money, I'm not really sure, but you can do it. It does happen and it does exist. All right, let's go to the risk. Greg wants to talk about the risk. He loves this part of it in terms of dealing with the risk. So I don't know how much of that you can actually see or read, but these are all the times that Bitcoin has crashed over its history and the drops that occur. And you can see the one at the lower left, lower right in the box, where there was a 70% decline in the value of Bitcoin. Now, that happened a couple of years ago. We're in a place now where Bitcoin really hasn't gone through that staggering crash. But could it happen again? Yes, because as we talked about, This is Craig and I in our more formal attire, when we're really being serious out there in the world, a little bit about what we do and who we are. And then finally, we finish up here with what's on tap, right? So next week, we're going to do, this is charitable gifting. And this is different ways and thoughts about charitable gifting, specifically ways that you can gift. A lot of organizations, charitable causes, struggled last year, are still struggling because of COVID. These are ways that you can help support some of those causes and actually make out, get paid, besides tax breaks on some of this stuff. On the 29th, we're doing a launch party. We're having a party. That's us. Yeah. So we're doing sort of a, hey, this is sort of like a 1-year thing that we're sort of announcing the areas to the world. On 5/6, we're going to do a piece on divorce and special needs families. And then on 5/13, we'll come back with our, it's a myth out, it's not a myth, it's a saying out there, sell in May and go away. It's all about investing strategies and different types of investments. Craig, any questions out there? Any questions from the audience?
Hold on, nope, I do have a thank you though. Thanks for a great session. Appreciate the insights into cryptocurrency. And